the multicultural society has decided to uprise.
And we're not getting monetized. Okay, cool.
Well, I think violence is good, so that's another thing.
Are we going to Iraq, mommy?
I was deeply uncomfortable.
yeah.
Dween coffee. Dween coffee.
Welcome back to Horseshoe Theory, the only podcast whose guests secretly drew gay fan art of the hosts. Today our guest is Rory Paints, an artist from Wales who has painted celebrities as cars, 100 paintings of Erlen Harving which he hides all around the world, and also has a show called Rory Paints Dates, where he's interviewed strongman Eddie Hall, CJ the X, and J-Rag. Rory has almost 200,000 followers on Instagram, which by default makes him one of the most famous artists of our generation. In this episode, we get a little schizo. We talk about art, we talk about conspiracy theories, Rory tells us why he thinks nuclear missiles aren't real, we almost get demonetized like 5 times. It's always the non-political guests who end up being the most political. So sit back, relax, rip your eyeballs out of your head and sew your mouth shut, crawl into a dark crevice in the woods, so all you can do is pay attention to our podcast with Rory Paints.
Do you mean everything you said?
Yeah, I've never told a joke.
What's funny, in our podcast I did with you, I what I'm planning on doing is having a lie counter that goes bing, bing, bing every time you lie.
Yeah.
And even if you say something sincere that sounds...
That's a great
I'm going to
idea.
keep binging.
I like that. Yeah, we did a interview for Rory's show. Rory Paints Dates. Rory's painted lots of famous people over the years. Like,
I'm up to 8 people.
Yeah.
My most recent was the world's strongest man, Eddie Hall. He was very cool.
yeah, well, he said that you always ask what the meaning of life is, and he said spreading his seed.
Yeah, which is such a masculine way of doing things.
Yes, he's like 6'8", isn't he?
He's not that tall actually, but he's wide.
I'm thinking of the mountain.
He's not fitting through any of these doors like easily. He's like has to shimmy through them.
Yeah, bring up Eddie Hall. Rory
This is the
Paints
dude. This is the
Dates.
dude. No, don't. Well, we're just gonna watch an hour-long podcast.
No, we just want to see the picture.
Yeah. No.
Bring up that
No.
picture, Henry.
Well,
Henry's now Jamie. You'll notice that we've upped our production quality. We have a very poor projector that you can barely see.
Look, there he is.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
Get him like nice and stretched across the black background.
Yeah. Rory does caricatures of famous people. Did one of me. It was very nice, and you can see it on Rory Paints Dates probably in like a month or two. I don't know how long does it take you to edit.
I don't like the way you're saying it though. You're saying I do characters. Well, I'm an artist.
Sorry,
so
you're an artist.
Yes.
Yeah, Rory is an artist that we've been putting up at the studio. How's your experience been so far?
Good.
Good. Okay. All right, I'll take it.
Yeah. Good 6 out of 10?
It's been good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been good.
6.5?
Yeah, it's nice to meet you guys and stuff. It's been great.
You're saying you like Toronto. You're saying you're pilled on Toronto.
I'm Toronto pilled now, yes.
That's good.
I think it's a great place to
What
live.
do you like about Toronto?
I think like
Long pause.
the vibe. There we go.
That's good.
The vibe. I wanted to say something funny, but then I couldn't think of anything funny. But I just went for the vibe. No, yeah, Toronto. But I'm not here to talk about Toronto. I'm here to talk about me.
Wait. Actually, I'm serious. Rory painted Eddie Hall. I want to see that picture that he did of Eddie Hall.
No, well, okay. Yeah, I mean, you would have to find it in the whole video. It's towards the end.
Yeah, that's fine. Henry
point.
will do that. But
have you seen it? Did you look at it?
No, I haven't seen the painting yet.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, we could do that.
Yeah, he can hunt for it. We can keep talking.
Yeah.
And so, what are some examples of some paintings you've done with some celebrities? I know you like drew someone's face on their chin, stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a porn star called Elle Brooke. Yeah, she was very nice as well. Met her. But yeah, but that's not kind of what I'm known for.
That's awesome. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the one I did. Yeah.
So you've drawn him as a car driving himself.
Yeah. What's funny about it is actually he owns the world's smallest car. So I painted him as the world's smallest car, but him in it as well.
Driving himself.
Yeah,
he drives the world's smallest car.
Yeah, he owns the world's smallest.
Oh,
car,
but it needs to like.
he can just about.
But
fit
he's
in
also
it.
the world's largest man.
Yeah, kind of.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was interesting.
What makes you interested in like? You saw me and you were like, I need to go draw this person. What piques your interest about a subject?
I actually, do you know what? So
Fucking sick.
I don't really know. It's not. It's very random. I'm known for this painting. Particularly, I'm known for painting Erling Haaland. He's a Norwegian footballer, and I think if you just Google Rory Paints, you'll. Oh, there we go. I mean, he's pretty good at this actually. Yeah. So that's
what you're known for.
I'm known for just painting his face over and over again. And I released a book called 100 Paintings of Erling Haaland. My reasoning behind this is a bit. it's just art, basically. I want to leave it to the audience's interpretation as to why I do everything I do.
Right.
What do you think about this? Your art chat. What do you think about people over explaining why they do things? You know.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like.
I seen a Rothko the other day.
Yeah.
He puts deep explanations into a few blobs of paint. Now, that's not to say I don't like Rothko.
He does, or like the museums do.
Doesn't he describe him as that? Or I'm pretty sure he did as well.
I'm not sure.
Either way, I kind of like his stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I shouldn't like it, really. I don't know.
I think, you know, abstract expressionism it's the classic. It's gotten a bad rap because that's the one that like boomer conservatives are like, that's not art.
Yeah.
Well, my baby could do that. Like what they're thinking of abstract expressionism when they say that. But like at the time that movement came out, it was like truly revolutionary. Like completely broke the boundary down of what art was. And it also made America the center of cultural production. After World War II, that was the first American art movement shifting from Europe. So like it as a movement is so significant.
Oh wow, now I can actually see when people reference visual media, what the visual media looks like. Okay, cool.
Just splotches of paint.
So there's like an essay about what this means. And you think it's such post hoc rationalization. Like
Am I
just
wrong
drew
on this? I feel like there is, but maybe you are right. Maybe people explain, or he didn't do it himself.
So listen, we're not going to ask you to explain any of your art.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But you also were like, before we sat down, I'm not going to talk about any of my art.
Yeah, but now you're questioning me, and I
do you know how he died, Mark Rothko?
He killed himself, right?
Yeah. I was gonna make Craig guess. I was gonna make you look at this man and his art.
Oh yeah.
And say, how do you think this guy's died?
I thought you were asking
me.
me.
We were talking like if you wanted to make the most valuable artwork possible, you'd blow your brains out in front of a canvas, and like the brains would be the
and people would add meaning to all my artwork just because of that. Yeah. But I mean, all our favorite artists kill themselves. But you have a good take on this, actually. You're anti-killing yourself.
Yeah, actually,
right?
none of my favorite artists kill themselves because as soon as they kill themselves, I hate them. Like I hate people who kill themselves.
Oh right.
I spit on their memory.
Both hate people that kill themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck them.
See, I'm gonna steal man killing yourself. I think it's actually okay.
Yeah. Why?
Why is it okay? I think it's just a viable option.
I don't think so.
You know?
I don't think it's an option at all.
Let's say you feel like you have no options. Actually, you know what? This is a lie a little bit as well. I know, I am lying. I'm lying. I don't know. I could not steal man if I wanted to. And also, it's not a good thing to steal man because I'm encouraging people to kill themselves.
Yeah, it's like an intellectual exercise.
Yeah. I was gonna go there, but it's not good. I think I have a thing called cigar theory. It's a thing I invented. So cigar theory is based on I've written a book, kind of. But anyway, that's never gonna get released. It's okay. But in the book, particularly, there's the person asked. There's a suicidal person, and then there's a person trying to stop them from killing themselves, right? And the person that stops them from killing themselves, says, have you ever smoked a Cuban cigar? And the guy's like, no, I haven't. He's like, how can you kill yourself if you haven't experienced a Cuban cigar? And it's kind of like, you can actually logic your way out of killing yourself by constantly going, have you swum with dolphins? No. Well, you got to do that just before killing yourself, and you could just keep going on that cycle, and it is the hedonic treadmill, but you know what I mean. You can just logic your way out of killing yourself.
So is that why you haven't killed yourself yet?
I haven't swum with dolphins, and I haven't smoked a Cuban cigar.
Okay, well we got that answer.
Yeah, that's the fast we've got. It's 7 minutes in.
Yeah, that's a speedrun world record,
and it's a great answer.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great reason to stay alive. Is like one more thing.
Cigar theory.
Yeah, I got to do one more thing.
Yeah.
Oh, just one more thing.
Yeah.
One more drink.
My answer is just like
more drugs. Yeah.
You know, we all know you're not going to do it. He would have done it already, you fucking coward.
Here's the thing, but again, because I do value my art a little bit. People will disrespect my art because it is goofy shit, right? But I do value it, and I know that I always mention this. You know Yukio Mishima?
No.
Yukio Mishima is the philosopher artist from Japan. Yeah.
Oh, I do know. Is this a performance artist?
Yeah.
Oh, I do know this guy. I love this guy.
So one of his things was he.
Wow, this projector's great.
It is really good, right? So one of the things he said was he was very keen on the old school, beautiful Japanese death. Death by Sudoku. Sudoku.
Yeah.
And he was big into that. And he says, like, heaven is full of ugly people now because everyone's dying old. And that was one of the things he hated. And he wanted to make sure he died a beautiful death. And he did have a good build. He was a good bodybuilding body. He's quite good. And he decided, like, his final art form was, I'm going to have a coup against the Japanese government. And then I'm going to kill myself.
That's awesome.
And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And so I kind of agree with that a little bit because I do hate the passing of time. I think it's a crime, and eventually I will become old and die, and it will suck. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't want to die an ugly death. And imagine if I could die just a few years younger and make it an artistic thing. People would go like, that Rory was cool.
Yeah.
He was like Yukio Mishima.
I saw this man
Sorry,
in the street
I shouldn't say that.
interview thing, and this man in the street interviews with old people, and there's one answer this guy gave that haunts me.
Go on.
Because he was like, "What's it like to be old?" And the guy says, "You wake up every day, you look in the mirror, expecting to see a young man, and you see an old man, and you can't change it."
That sucks.
I was like, "Fuck!" I like chills talking about that.
Yeah.
That does suck.
Because you would just expect, like, you know, what I look like now, or maybe like, you know, give me 10 years, like. You look in the mirror expecting to see a 35-year-old, 40-year-old, and you see a fucking withered old. You feel like that in your head too.
Have you ever spoken to your father about that?
No.
Ask his dad. It's the same thing. They still feel like they're 21. It's horrible to think. Right?
He died, but he died.
Oh,
He never got super. No, he was 64. He never got super old.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was pretty lively.
So he died a slightly beautiful death. You know.
He died a hero's death. He was buying a snowblower at a Canadian Tire. Had a heart attack.
Oh shit! Sorry to hear that. Sorry.
No, I think it's a great death. That's like dying in battle.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Well, that's
awesome.
one of the things
that's
he
dying
preaches
being a
about.
dad.
Yeah, dying being a dad.
That's
so
the
sick.
one main thing he preaches. He wants an honorable battle, a warrior's death. He was very keen, like on that. Yeah. He was. What would you say? He was. Sorry, blank space. My brain went blank. No, like what's so he was what's the opposite of alpha? My brain's gone fried.
Omega.
He was a beta as a kid, massive beta, and then he just did a trip to Greece, and then he's seen all these statues of. He was also homosexual, by the way, as well.
Oh.
So he's seen all these statues of beautiful giant men, and then he was like, I'm going to become an alpha. And he changed his whole life on that. And that's why he wanted a beautiful death. But I'm not here to talk about Yusha Mishra. I'm not here to talk about me either.
What are you here to talk about?
I'm here to talk about nuclear weapons.
Nuclear weapons?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just lateral moving into nuclear weapons.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I don't understand what the connection there is. I feel like you've prepared some points you want to hit. And
No. Well, yesterday when I was on the ferry, I can't see where it is. I just like wrote some scramblings, and I was thinking this would be fun to talk about because we did talk about it briefly, didn't we?
That was the first conversation we had.
Oh, is it? There we go.
Yeah, I think half an hour of meeting you, we talked about your beliefs on
here?
nuclear weapons.
Yeah. No, I had my own pad somewhere.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. They don't exist. They don't exist.
oh yeah, that's your conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
No, it's
It's
just the
real.
truth. It's just reality.
But this is going to be a dangerous podcast to release if I start talking about this.
Let's start talking about it.
You're
gonna be on a list.
We have a YouTube partner.
You've mentioned a few times that you have certain like delusional takes, but then you don't want to talk about them because like, and I kind of relate to this. Like sometimes you start talking about a point of delusion in your mind, and it just sort of triggers a general psychosis.
It makes me think that the government's gonna come after me if I talk about it too much. Because they don't like people with pattern recognition.
Okay, so it's 1, 2 sentences. Yeah, the government's afraid of people with pattern recognition.
They really are.
They really are.
They're terrified of the schizo.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 or 2 sentences explain the case for why nuclear weapons are fake.
You want me to explain it in 2 sentences?
Simply.
As simply as possible. Okay. Basically, World War I happened, and it was bad, right? Lots of people died. Then World War II happened 20 years later. Lots of people died. And it looked like that pattern was going to continue forever, and we were just going to keep fucking everything up. So a few very clever people decided to get together and say, what if we invent this concept of a bomb that's so great that no one would ever use it, and we would cancel out the idea of these sort of global wars that we have where millions of people are dying. And that's what I believe happened, and that's what I think is true.
Is there a community behind this?
Funny enough, there's not really at all.
This is your own original idea.
It kind of is. I think people do talk about it online, a few things, but it's always poo-pooed because it's not really one of those beneficial conspiracy theories where you can like choose a right side, left side. So there's no one really benefits from this idea. That's why it's not one of those conspiracy theories people like latch onto. But it's one that I believe in. Kind of. Do I believe in it? Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah.
So for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, we basically just carpet bombed them and we called it a nuke.
Well, those cities were basically built out of wood and they were easy to just, once a fire spread, you could wipe out those 2 cities. And so only the one concrete building they had in the whole fucking city stayed up. And so that's what I believe happened there.
What about all the radiation poisoning?
I don't really know about this radiation poisoning. That goes into a deeper level again, whether that is real or not.
Oh, the Chernobyl thing you told me blew my mind.
Yeah, so in Chernobyl, like when the Chernobyl disaster happened, if you were to look at the actual numbers of how many people died during the Chernobyl thing, it's very, very low. And the ones that did die were the firefighters that were dealing with extreme heats from plutonium or whatever which would kill you from the heat alone.
Right. Okay.
I do believe in nuclear energy. I think nuclear energy is the way forward as well.
Right. Okay, so there actually is sort of a political reality to this conspiracy theory. Which is that nuclear energy has no risks because radiation poisoning doesn't exist and nuclear bombs have never happened.
Yes.
Okay, yes. I got you.
And guess who benefits most from nuclear energy being dangerous?
The fossil fuel industry.
Exactly. But also Russia. Russia is basically a giant petrol station. This oil station. There's nothing else to it. Do they build anything? No. Have you ever bought a Russian product? No.
Okay.
They just have oil. But they actually benefit from that conspiracy theory. Therefore, when Chernobyl happened, it was like, oh, this is a win-win situation.
But they would also benefit from nukes not being real, because if it was just a straight-up war between Russia and the United States would win if not for nuclear
the nukes
weapons.
Not being real is a very interesting in general, because then you have to wonder who actually has the power. Does Putin know that his nukes don't exist? That's another thing. Does he know that his nukes won't reach America?
Right. Even Putin. So Putin thinks that he has nukes, but he doesn't actually have nukes.
You have to think about nukes is big business as well. Right. It's like a whole thing in itself. You're like, who's creating nukes? Where's the money coming from the nukes? Britain we have we call it the Trident project, which costs billions of our taxpayers' money, and you kind of like, wait, what? Who's getting that money? How? Like, what's going on there? It's like a whole thing.
Who makes the nukes? Is there like a Lockheed, does Lockheed Martin have like a model of nuclear missile?
That's another rabbit hole you should
The more questions we ask, the more precarious this narrative seems of their nuclear weapons existing.
I've never thought about that. Like the fact there's like an F-18, Hornet, there's like names for all these weapons. There's the dome over, there's all these names.
Okay.
What's like the model of nuke and what the company that makes the model of nuke?
Yeah,
and is there like a LinkedIn profile for a guy who's like an engineer, like a nuclear physicist who worked on like the M96 bomb of, the Lockheed Martin model of this nuke.
Google nuclear weapons aren't real. I think I'm pilled. I'm pilled on this.
That's all it took.
You're going to go down the rabbit hole. It's going to be interesting.
No, I don't need to do any research on this.
Tsar bomb?
No. So this is something I believe in. I was like, okay, so from a very young age, I was like, wait, let me have a little sip of alcohol. By the way, I am an alcoholic.
That's fine.
It's true.
So from a young age, I was never really scared of nukes. So I just wasn't scared of them. So the whole, it's kind of back to those philosophy people. Is it gnosis, the idea of knowledge coming from like another, that just stopped. But I don't acknowledge that. Right?
we explicitly said not to acknowledge it when a camera inevitably dies.
So gnosis is like the idea of like you get knowledge from the divine, or you get knowledge just from the, I don't know. But I've made my own word for it anyway. It's called gut gnosis.
Gut gnosis. Gut gnosis,
yeah.
That's just vibing stuff out.
Yeah. What does your gut say on this thing?
On nukes?
Yeah. This logic, because where does all this, like if you think, well, we're going deep now. Okay, let's say like logic and all numbers, where does all this come from really? Where does all this propaganda come from, is what I'm saying. Then you have to trust all the propaganda.
Yeah.
And I throughout my life, the more I've developed, I don't trust anything or anyone.
What about the bombing in the Pacific Ocean? All the bombs that set off in Palau and the Bikini Atoll.
After this, watch some of those videos. Why is when was the last time a nuclear weapon was tested?
Wasn't it recent?
Regularly, like North Korea tests them all the time
Did they have a 4K footage of this? Did you see? Have you seen it?
No.
They tested.
I just heard about it in the news.
They tested like little rockets going into the sky and
they have like intercontinental ballistic missiles which fly very close to the Earth, so they can like make a strike really quickly.
Yeah,
but that's just the narrative. That
I've seen one of those. Have you seen the video on the people on the boat, and then those missiles just fly past? Oh, no. It's amazing.
Yo, Henry, what you could do is just move the projector so that it's projecting behind Rory and Brogan. That would probably work as well. Yeah.
Jamie,
Jamie, sorry. I was,
young Jamie. Jamie.
I'm okay to just call Henry instead of Jamie as a
I will never call him
pastiche of Joe Rogan experience. Oh yeah, that looks good. Yeah, just do that.
Is my head? Am I being projected
That's fine.
on?
The general idea sticks.
Am I being projected upon?
Between the two of you, I would say is a good way to do it. Slightly above. Okay. While Henry is fixing the projector,
can we turn the cameras on to Henry? This is fantastic.
No.
Okay, sorry.
No, we have to. This is about us.
Jamie, sorry, young Jamie isn't there. Carry on.
Okay, tell us in the comments if we should start referring to Henry as Jamie, and then we'll talk to Henry about it if that's okay.
I like having. It's nice to have our own name.
Yeah, Henry.
Young Henry.
Young Henry.
Young Henry. Yeah.
That sounds like a rapper
I was disappointed
name.
when I found out like young Jamie was actually like.
Wait, hold on. Give me those. Okay, so here's my psychoanalysis of what just happened. We invited you onto a horseshoe theory, and you're like, okay, this is a political podcast.
What does horseshoe mean?
The far left and the far right agreeing on things.
Okay, fair enough.
And
you can extrapolate that out to anything, though.
Yeah, you can apply horseshoe theory to any sort of spectrum.
If you take a spectrum, like the extremes are closer together than the center.
Yeah,
I think you're right on that.
As you get more and more extreme on either end,
I see
then
what you're saying.
they start to resemble each other.
Yeah, like carnivore and veganism.
Yeah.
So we invited you onto this podcast, which you assumed was political, and then you thought, okay, I have to come prepared with a political hot take, and your hot take was that nukes are not real.
That's not. I just told you I didn't know what horseshoe meant. So.
Okay.
Is this a political point?
You also came prepared not to talk about your art.
Sorry, go on, yes.
Okay, so here's a piece of political art you've made. Maybe Henry, show this off to the camera or something. Do you want to describe what's going on here?
It was a fever dream I had. I woke up and I sensed the aura of Shinzo Abe, and I feel like he was protecting Trump in that moment recently that happened.
Yeah. You feel like the spirit of Shinzo Abe was protecting Trump. Do you think Shinzo Abe would have agreed with Trump though? Because like, wasn't Shinzo Abe like more of a moderate Japanese guy?
Well, from my dealings, like me and him have spoken a few times, but like Shinzo, when he died, I actually don't know anything about that. Sorry, I don't know what Shinzo Abe's. I know he was like a crazy Christian person.
Look up Shinzo Abe's political perspective.
Wasn't he like wasn't he in a cult? He was killed because he was in a Christian cult. And the person that killed him was like, felt like he was wronged by the cult, so he thought Shinzo Abe was the person to kill. Yeah, but he created a sick gun, man. It was so cool.
Yeah, it was like 3D printed.
Man, it was so badass. Do you know he created a shotgun as well? Did I tell you about the shotgun?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, the shotgun was badass. It was like a 9-barrel like shotgun.
Can you look that up after the homemade shotgun?
Wait. Abe was a staunch conservative and associated with a Nippon Kaigi. Okay. So Abe
Shinzo Abe wanted the return of the shogun. And,
oh, really?
And this is what Trump is. He is the shogun returning, the blonde shogun.
Okay. So, because in this picture, you wrote, "The Norodokun, the world needs a shogun." Yeah. So, like, basically, in your fever dream, Shinzo Abe sees Trump as the future shogun.
Yeah, but that's not to say that I think that we should return the shogun and have it as Trump.
No?
No.
You don't think that?
No.
Because it really seems like you think that.
No.
And it seems like you're in kind of denial about thinking that, politically.
You think I love Trump and want him to be the shogun of the world?
I think you've expressed a desire to see a sort of Caesar-like figure emerge.
I have mentioned the Rome a lot to you in the past few days.
It's just like, I feel like a lot of quote-unquote apolitical people have specific political views that they're just in denial about, and I think that's probably yours.
We all gravitate towards a strong leader. We all kind of want that chieftain, tribal leader.
Yeah.
Is Trump that guy? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so.
But it would be good to have one, just in general.
Who would be your ideal leader? Like, who would you want to rule the world if you could choose one person?
Hillary Clinton.
I was going to say Justin Trudeau. And I want them to have, like, monarchical...
Both awful options.
Monarchical power.
They would be killed instantly. They would be like, whoever's the second would... those are too weak. You have to have someone strong.
It's the power of monotheistic religion. We sort of like genetically or mimetically have constructed our cultures based on looking towards like an absolute ideal of leadership and perfection.
The interesting idea with like a constitutional monarchy is that we all have a desire for authoritarianism, so we sublimate that desire into a useless monarch, basically.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, that's the Canadian justification for monarchy, whereas in America, the president is sort of the monarchical figure. They have the ultimate power.
And it's a two-party system.
Yeah.
You're voting for You have one other option. In Canada, you have one other option as well.
But they don't even have power either because there's so much bureaucracy, right? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think they need less bureaucracy.
Well,
I'd like.
look, you mentioned previously, I think, Curtis Yavin and the old cathedral thing, right?
I'd like to see a left-wing Project 2025.
Yeah.
Just like authoritarianism on both ends so that stuff can actually happen. Like, I want to see Trump get in and close the borders, build a big wall, gun down a bunch of migrants, and then Bernie Sanders win the next, like, election, and then just force through universal basic health care.
That would, minus the death, that's a decent outcome.
At least stuff would happen. I just want stuff to happen. I'm pro stuff happening.
This is really Gen Z's political perspective. If you could boil it down to its essence, is Gen Z wants something to happen.
Yeah.
We're the generation that has had nothing happen for the longest.
We. I'm not Gen Z.
Yeah, you're a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
What's happened in your lifetime? What's the happening besides COVID?
What's the happening? So in my lifetime, the Twin Towers fell. Were you 2000?
I was born in 98.
I was in kindergarten.
Okay.
I remember the day in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember not caring.
That was kind of a happening. Yeah. That was kind of a happening.
Yeah. I remember talking to my mom. I was like, Mom, why would they do this?
Yeah.
Mom, this is crazy. What are we're gonna go to Iraq now? We're gonna go to Afghanistan?
Yeah,
what's George Bush gonna do?
Wait, you were saying that?
Yeah, I said that exactly.
And you were 2 years old?
I was 3. That's what I said to my mom. I got up.
Are we going to Iraq, Mommy?
Am I gonna get drafted, Mother?
Am I gonna get drafted, Mother? Why would the Saudis do this?
That's exactly what I said.
The Saudis.
Yeah.
Why would the Pakistanis do this?
Why would the Jews do this? Mom, Google dancing Israelis.
I was just about to say dancing as well. No,
but besides 9/11's one happening. What's the last? You're from the UK. You might have a different perspective. What's your happening? Brexit?
Well, we had the buses. We had the bus bombing in London. It was like the similar time. It was like basically they needed us to get on board with this bombing of brown people in a foreign country. So there was a happening that had to happen, and that we had the bus bombing.
What's
in
the
London.
bus bombing?
I forgot what date. Is it they call it the 5th of July bombing? Something like that. Yeah, it was our 9/11 basically. It was 7th of July. Yeah.
How many people died?
Quite a few.
7/7. We're gonna run out of like the dates, like 9/11, 7/11, 7/7.
Yeah, we used to talk about it a bit. We don't talk about it too much anymore.
H2. What was what was the Hamas attack? Like October 7th.
We have them so often now that I lose track.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, like right now, Leeds is on fire. It's a city in
I've been following that. That's crazy.
Wait, Leeds is on fire?
Do you know about this?
Why?
Yeah, you explain it.
Well, no, Leeds is on fire basically. It's basically it's like the multicultural society has decided to uprise in Leeds because I think there was like I don't know what it was. I don't know what started it all. Do you know?
There was there's a Romani family.
Yeah.
And Child Protective Services came to take the child because it was in an abusive household. And in this part of Leeds, it's a lot of Romani and a lot of North African and Arabic immigrants. Right. And the three groups together have just started a riot.
Oh, cool. So they all teamed up against Whitey.
Yeah, they all teamed up against Whitey.
Sick.
It's actually insane. I watched it today. I don't want to get too political, but it is. You have to, even from a neutral perspective, you have to look at it and go, what the fuck? So it's like the whole town is going crazy. They've burnt buses. They've flipped police cars. They've run the police out of the little town area. And I think, as far as I know, there's only one person being arrested, and it was a white woman that tried to stop them, and the police decided that she's causing too much trouble, and they arrested her. Huh. And like, I've never voted in my life. That's like, I just don't even give a fuck. But it's just, even me, I'm just like, oh, this is a bit of a happening, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah. They set the double. I think that's so like. The imagery of them setting the double-decker bus on fire. Did you watch that? Yeah.
Yeah.
They all go up. Like one of them starts like lighting the seat on fire with a lighter, and someone stops them, and then the camera pans, and they're dumping gas on the engine and lighting it on fire.
So you actually think nothing's happening?
Something's happening now.
I think things have been happening. I think things have been happening more and more exponentially as time's gone on. Like some world-changing, life-shattering event happens like every week, but then also doesn't change anything. It's the okay, I don't know, do you follow French politics at all? Yeah.
Okay, French politics is, I feel like that's the epitome of where we're going, because French is like ahead of us in some ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? They've had non-stop crazy riots and protests pretty much relentlessly since pre-COVID, just like constantly.
Since like the yellow vests.
Since the yellow vests, COVID, it's just non-stop. It's like it's insane how much protest there are in France.
Right.
And Macron, who is now, I think, probably still going to be leader, potentially. I don't know how it quite works.
No, he's out, isn't he?
I thought they're doing some sort of coalition to make sure that Le Pen doesn't win, right?
Right, yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it
but
recently.
it's more, it's like the coalition with the leftist party.
Yeah, but which is... Anyway, but basically Macron just... Every time, like, he increased the age of retirement.
Yes.
And he kept bringing in things, and everyone was protesting against it, and he just did it anyway. He just kept just doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And everyone eventually would go, oh, well, I've got to go back to work. And so nothing, like, everything the government wanted to do and everything the people didn't want them to do, the government just went along with it anyway. And that's kind of where we're going. Protests don't matter. People don't matter. Eventually they'll have robots and they won't even need police and they won't even need people. And then it'll be Elysium. Have you seen the film Elysium?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elysium. The elites will live in a sky elite, and we'll all just be like little people.
We had early on. We had a podcast guest, Plastic Pills, who was a professor of like postmodern and critical theory, and very, very well read, very smart. And I think at the end of the podcast, we were like, "What's the one takeaway you've gotten from every?" Like he's read like Deleuze, like every single continental philosopher. I was like, "What's the one takeaway you've gotten from all of this, your entire career?" And he said, "Protests don't matter." Was his or he said protests stopped mattering in the 60s.
Yeah.
Like nothing will ever change with protests.
I completely agree. Yeah.
Which is the craziest. Get chills talking about that too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, you're absolutely right though. I mean, look at the only thing Canada's protested on a major level in the last however long in my lifetime has been the trucker protests, and nothing happened.
You don't think that changed anything?
No. Well, it all changed that the government can now shut down bank accounts, and if they do it again, it's not going to be a surprise. Because they did that. They shut down the truckers' bank accounts at a federal level.
But
this is proper doomer talk, though.
Right, you don't think it was related to the lifting of mask mandates and stuff afterwards?
No,
you think that would have happened anyway?
No, I don't. I think it would have happened anyway. I mean, the specific point they were talking about was that truckers shouldn't need vaccination proof to cross the border because it was destroying their jobs.
Yeah,
that was their one point, and like that didn't change anything. Everything that happened afterwards would have happened anyway. This was just 6 weeks of chaos that led to unprecedented power encroachment. That here we are. It's fucking insane. You see the Joe Rogan talking about Canada? He was like, "I'm never going back to that country." On his the last podcast he did, he's like, Canada's a write-off. I'm never going back.
I actually think Toronto's really good though. I was just saying this.
I think Joe's been a little hyperbolic there. Yeah. I understand the anger. I get the rage.
See, but this is the thing. Like I like to research all this sort of stuff, but I don't like to waste my chi energy on it. I believe in inner chi. Do you believe in this?
Energy.
Like I've got.
We call it vril.
Vril, yeah. So like a Sims character, you've got a certain bar, and if you start, it goes down. You're like, I don't like to waste my chi on I don't vote.
Yeah,
I don't vote. I've never voted. That's because I just apathy towards the voting system. I don't believe it.
We know a lot of people who don't vote, but people who don't vote are often not voting for an extremist political perspective, like Jane, for example. She doesn't vote. She doesn't believe in it.
Yeah.
But you're saying like you don't vote from an apolitical perspective of I don't want to waste my life energy on this system that I don't really believe in.
Yeah.
Out of apathy.
Yeah.
Apathy? Would you say that's where it's coming from?
It's kind of full doomer, I suppose. I just believe that even the politicians don't have the power you think they do and that sort of thing. So it's just like, whatever, who cares?
Let me take this back to art. You drew me with Hitler.
Yes, I did. For some reason, I've drawn you a few times, and every time I draw you, you seem to become some sort of anti-Semite of some kind.
Yeah. Here, Henry, show this off.
I don't know where I put the other one. Oh well.
Get up.
It doesn't matter.
Just rise. Rise.
You think I'm sat on it?
Yeah, you were
I am sat on it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I figured it out. And then, yes, also show this off. I think he's drawn me as a sort of like some sort of anti-Semitic politician.
Yeah. Well,
I'm saying nuke Tel Aviv in this one. So basically, you've drawn me as Hitler's top guy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm even topping Hitler. And
a Houthi.
And a Houthi with the Canada flag behind me.
Yeah.
Saying Tel Aviv.
They're like the UN. I was like,
I'm like at the UN.
Yeah.
It looks like Bashar al-Assad a little bit.
Yeah. This one is not you very much.
Okay, so and I noticed also Hitler has a halo, which implies that he's in heaven. So you went to
yeah. This is a controversial view, I suppose. But if you think about it, like Jesus did say, all your sins will be forgiven in death.
Right. I think you have to repent, though, don't you?
Look, I'm not a Christian, a genius person.
Okay. Anyway, you've been drawing a lot of portraits while you're over.
Yeah. It's like my form of schizophrenia. Is
right.
What it is, yeah.
One of these portraits did contain 3 of the studio members all in a gay orgy.
Yes, that did happen as well. Yeah.
What was going through your mind when you did that with 3 guys you barely knew?
I suppose nothing much goes through my mind when I'm drawing. To be fair, it just sort of comes with. It's like I don't know if anyone's ever watched Lost, the old TV series.
I think I saw half a season once.
So there's a character that would roll his eyes and then he would draw, and then what he drew and painted would come true. This happens to me quite often. A lot of what I manifest it through my paintings sometimes. Right. So sometimes I'm worried about these things. Like this is worrying. This like the idea of you becoming Hitler's top guy in the future, and also suggesting that we should nuke Tel Aviv. I mean that's a worrying thing. Like even though it came out of me, it's more of it came from a higher being.
I seem to occupy an anti-Semitic position in your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. That's from our private discussions, I think.
Yeah, I've been getting pretty anti-Semitic, realistically. But
you can cut that out, I suppose.
No, we're keeping that all in. So just to be clear here, this was a picture of Duncan, Brogan, and Gokanaru all in a gay orgy.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel, Brogan?
Sorry about that. Yeah.
I was deeply uncomfortable. Yeah. I looked at it once and I don't want to look at it
and
ever
you're like,
again.
I never want to see this again.
He tried to bring it. I was like, we're not bringing that drawing. I don't want to see it ever again.
I think you were in the worst position of the bunch as well, I'm afraid. Yeah.
It's just, I want you to imagine who was the top, who was the bottom, who was doing what to who. It was all very graphic. We'll never show this picture.
Someone would buy that. Someone listening to this podcast
I would sell
right
that.
now would buy that for
I have
like
no
$1,000.
money.
That's probably that's a pricey drawing.
So you have a thing about selling out as an artist. What does that mean to you, selling out?
I don't know if it's selling out as an artist. It's like I at the moment I don't need the money too much, so it's a case of like, the idea of going, hey guys, buy my stuff is that whole is sticky, is icky and horrible for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pull up Rory.Paints Instagram. So you don't sell any of these paintings.
For the whole first year of painting, I didn't sell any of them. No.
Okay.
I started selling a few random paintings of just to test the waters, how I feel about it. But yeah, not many.
And how have you felt about it?
Yeah, it's again, I do feel awkward about it. It's like weird. It's like, first of all, I sometimes I feel like the price is too high, and then I'm like, oh, do they? But like, it's the classic. It's the you know about this. You're just like, am I giving them the value they really want from this, and is it worth it? And one of my big things actually is because I've sold a lot of the I call them the tangible NFTs I've created. So my big thing is just Harlan's face, just his face over and over again. And I plan on painting 1,000 paintings of just his face, and selling them as tangible NFTs. And my goal is to make sure that they are more valuable in the future than when they bought them.
Okay.
I will make sure, in some sense, I have almost I owe it to the people that buy them to make sure that I become an artist with valuable paintings. Is that strange?
No,
that's good. Yeah. I think there's nothing wrong with getting, as an artist, you gotta parse that out. I think every artist kind of struggles with in the beginning of their career selling out and being a sham, being a opportunist, but produce value.
Yeah, produce value.
Produce value and the people will buy it.
I'm okay selling things as long as I feel like the people are getting more than what they paid for.
You were selling emails for £50.
Yeah.
Or $50.
And I always give them more than what they are expecting to get from the email.
Yeah.
Like, not only are you getting the email of a unique picture of my face, this is Dreadcoin, I'm launching this soon, and by the time this podcast is out, it will be launched. You get a unique hash that I smash my keyboard in for 30 seconds to create. And then I manually update who owns what Dreadcoin on a spreadsheet. So if you want to trade your Dreadcoin to someone else, you can. And then you could even trade like $100 and you might be able to make money, hypothetically, off the Dreadcoin. And I sell Dreadcoin IRL, where if you give that Dreadcoin to me in person, I'll do a favor for you. So,
okay, so Yeah.
So yeah, you are giving value. You get your money's worth, and there's a lot of effort and labor that goes into that. And the same thing with my calls. Like I do like art calls, and at the end of every.
Are we making this
session,
a J-Reg advertisement now? Let's just go.
We're talking about selling out, and I just don't think.
Yeah, I don't think you've instantly seen an opportunity.
I don't think it has to be a bad thing.
I'm joking.
Because we have to make money as artists.
We do.
But also,
there's a little thing about it. So I have this confidence that my paintings will actually be selling for. I'll sell paintings for like tens of thousands in the future.
Yeah.
So selling paintings at the moment for $100, $200 here and there just feels wrong when I know that I'm going to be selling paintings for tens of thousands. Right. That sounds very egotistical, but I do believe I'm slowly gonna make sure I worm my way up and become somewhat.
Okay.
Is that what do you think about that?
That's high.
Your art Chad. What do you think about what I just said? I don't know.
Art Chad has not sold his paintings yet.
Exactly. Oh, okay. So you're kind of in my boat a little bit.
I've sold 2 things. I don't know. I've got
online, right?
Yeah, I got depressed in my undergrad and my master's degree about art. It's I haven't done anything in a long time because it made me so depressed. The idea of painting and trying to sell it and trying to make it as an artist. I just think that I think I've probably talked about this before on the podcast, but there's this artists, and especially when you're in academic art, you're taught this separation of like, oh, for some reason what I do is important, and what you're really doing is like almost analogous to someone picking stocks or like selling NFTs or like chasing crypto, where you're trying to build a career off of hype. I think you have to like accept that at face value. I think especially as painters, like I'm a painter in 2024, to pretend that like painting is as valuable as it was during like Jacques Louis David, French Revolution, or like Velasquez, like all these famous painters who were like actually creating stuff that was significant to the culture at the time. Now it's like, you're trying to make some money. You're trying to have like a little fun, produce some value, make some money.
What do you think of cows?
I don't like cows. The video that blew me up was anti-cause.
Pull up cows.
Yeah, he has a video on cause.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I didn't see that video.
I really don't. I mean, it's exactly that. I think cause.
That is the epitome of capitalist art. Big Funko Pops. But he did, like what you said earlier. He created like a trend. Like he's like this is my thing. I don't know. I can't. Yeah. But I kind of respect it a little bit. I guess I'd have to watch a video. Sorry, let's move on. Let's move on for that because
I think
just say everyone watch the video on his analysis of cows.
Cows is a great example, I think, of exactly that. It's like Banksy a little bit as well.
Oh,
do you like Banksy?
Don't get me started on Banksy.
Because it's like we
local to me. Basically.
Oh yeah. Oh, is he Welsh?
No, he's Bristol, just the city over.
Okay.
Yeah.
We find these like our culture needs icons. Cultures always need icons. If you don't have icons, you're like lacking a culture.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we're at a point where we're sort of like ad hoc picking. We're like, okay, so cause is like now going to define this era of art, or it's going to define contemporary art. Banksy defines contemporary art, and like they don't actually do anything or represent anything valuable or have done anything significant or deserve their position. It's just we've picked them to do so because we need those things. Like it's like the data of like art for art's sake. It's like that sentence, but kind of like misappropriated to be like, we literally just need art. Hotels need art. Hotel lobbies, walls need art. So I'm going to make art that fits the space that art leaves.
Right.
Do we need YouTube artists, though?
We don't need art, period.
Yeah, we don't. Actually, that's the whole point of art. It shouldn't be needed. Otherwise, it's just a useful object. I don't know. That's a whole other thing I think about. But no, yeah, I agree with you. Do you think we did? Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know what I think about that.
But anyway,
we do.
Going back to Brogan's existential art crisis, you have been drawing charcoal paintings. How did that feel?
On and off, it's okay. I like the act of doing it,
and
I just leave it there.
We've been talking though about if you were painting like a painting for every video essay you did, not only would you be doing something that no one else on YouTube is doing, but you could also sell those paintings for the spot.
Oh no, that was fantastic. Actually, I want to do something like that, but it's just so difficult to do.
Well, that's a great place for art to be. I forget what I was talking about. I was talking to someone on my stream said it actually. They're like, no one should be an artist first and foremost. Art should be like a background thing you do for your entire life. I think that's why it's almost easier to do it in the context of a video. It's like, here's this
like your Eddie Hall video. Like here's this thing, here's this value, here's this product I'm producing of like I've set this up, I'm interviewing this person, this is a valuable asset. And on top of that, there's also art behind it. You're not trying to create art, you're not trying to create hype around the art alone. I think that's like a much more comfortable position for art to be in for me.
I think it's impossible to create hype around just art with nothing else to it. You also have to have another element to it, like some sort of algorithmically appealing content that like ropes people in. Yeah. So that's a useful philosophy for the times we live in right now. Yeah. Like drawing celebrities.
Yeah. Which is cringe a little bit, but it is what I do.
But it works.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
I don't want to paint some nobody on the street.
I like making songs about stupid political shit.
Yeah. I like drawing my friends.
Yeah.
It's good to just like things.
Oh, I do that as well. I like just drawing my friends for some reason.
Yeah.
I struggle with drawing women though.
Same.
Yeah.
I was hoping you guys would talk about this.
Is this one? Yeah. Sorry. One of the reasons that I don't. What's your reasoning for this?
I really like drawing men. I don't know. I feel like I like men have so much. It's not like some big point I stand on. I don't have like a big reason behind it. I just really like drawing men. I don't know. I feel like because I'm a man, I relate to like the masculine struggles of meaning and yearning and like, you know, waking up in the morning and sitting on the end of your bed for half an hour doing nothing, looking at the floor before you start your day. I'm sure women do that as well, but like from a masculine point of view, I relate to that. When I look at men's faces, I see like the pain in men's eyes that so many men have.
Wrinkles.
Yeah. Horror.
So you feel like you relate to men, so you draw men.
Yeah. Because they have the eyes, the wrinkles, they have facial expressions.
Sorry. No. I'm the same. So one of my issue is I forgot the artist who's like the American, always known as the best oil painter guy that I went to.
John Singer Sargent.
Yeah, Singer Sargent.
Yeah.
One of the things he said was when he paints women, they don't tell you to your face, but they imply that they want you to paint them beautifully. They want you to paint them almost more beautifully than they actually are. Like that's one of the things that he says. Like they imply, and I get that. There's something about
focus on this a little bit.
Because there's something about painting a woman for me. If I paint a woman, I just feel like, because a lot of my paintings are ugly. Basically, I like to do ugly, but there's something about attacking a woman's beauty. I don't know. There's something deep in there. There's something. I'm sure the philosophy people would have something to say about that. But so if I do like. I do life. Have you ever done life drawing? So for some reason, I can't help it. I'll draw the boobs bigger. I'll draw the ass bigger. I'll just make them more beautiful than they always are. And it's something, I don't know what that is in my brain, that I want to be like complimentary to a woman always.
Yeah. Agreeability.
And that is some sort of agreeable. But that makes it bad for my artwork because
Well, because you were saying if you drew Brogan, you'd make him grotesque.
Yeah,
Brogan wouldn't be offended by that.
Exactly. Yeah, but a female possibly would. That's kind of why I like Lucian Freud. He didn't give a fuck.
No,
he would
love
paint women in the most ugly, unappealing way possible, and he was just brutally honest, and he was savage, and that's something I respect about Lucian Freud.
Yeah, I mean, there's always like the male lens that's been talked about like ad nauseum in the art world, and especially from the critical theory lens of the male lens on women in art, and like the
make sure Safe Search is on. Okay.
There's a great artist, Alice Neal. She's from New York.
Okay.
And she painted a lot.
His name, but
she painted a lot of women, and she did that. She like made everyone look grotesque, and she made like women look grotesque too. But she's a huge feminist actually, and she was a like wonderful painter. And everyone like has just great stories about how nice of a woman she was, and like her whole life would just like meticulously paint anyone she ever met. Like thousands of paintings of her friends, and they're so beautiful. It's exactly like that. It's like the way men draw other men, of just being like really capturing like that the soul. But I think that like, I don't know, women maybe have a harder time capturing when drawing men, and men have a harder time when drawing women.
It's like the perspective thing, isn't it? You can't come from it from a woman's perspective, and they're kind of right, I guess. Yeah.
I also only draw men myself over and over again. That's the only thing I know how to draw. I've never drawn anyone else.
That's like a narcissistic thing, though. You mostly draw yourself. I think you've drawn yourself 3 times in the past like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I just like it's just something I do. Yeah. I don't think it's narcissism though.
I think it is.
I think it's trying to capture how I feel.
Do you think you're narcissistic at all?
Yes, I'm very narcissistic.
Really?
I'm the most narcissistic guy.
No,
I don't know. What are you
saying it? He's saying it in that way. Okay.
I don't know. I don't think I'm very narcissistic. I'm like the least narcissistic guy.
Okay.
I'm like really humble and like honest and stuff.
You're pretty humble. I think you have a lot of aura because of that.
Yeah, aura.
Anyone you meet, you'll ask questions about them. You'll like just like pry into their lives.
I'm interested in people.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like people really like are magnetic towards you because you do that.
Do you think narcissistic people, is that one of their traits? They're not interested in other people. Is that like they don't question?
Yeah, I think like a caricature of a narcissist would just
talk about themselves.
Yeah.
I don't like being perceived that much, and I don't like talking about myself that much. But I'm also like I won't shy away from it if it's like what's socially appropriate.
Yeah.
But also the reason I'm putting people up at my studio is so I can like meet new people and find out more about the world that I exist in.
I hate that. I get accused of talking about myself all the time. But one of my things is I don't like silence. I think that's a problem I have. So if there's silence, I'll fill it with like, oh, this is what I did, and it's just like, it's annoying.
Well, also the time in my life right now is defined by acts of service to others. Maybe to my own
like the
detriment.
blowjob you give me earlier.
Yeah, like for example, yeah.
one small example.
It's a comedy podcast now. Okay.
Whoa! What if we were gay?
There's nothing funnier than gay.
That's it.
Okay, sorry. That's one thing about Toronto that I like. I accidentally, I tell you, I told you, I took the ferry, but I took the wrong ferry, and I noticed like everyone on the ferry was gay. And wearing like barely anything.
And it sounds like a psychotic break every time I hear this story.
And
wait, what ferry? Where were you going?
To the island.
Well, they call it.
There is a gay beach.
So I took it to the.
They call it a ferry for a reason. Am I right?
yeah. So I took it to the south side accidentally. I thought I was taking the north one, and
that makes sense. Yeah,
I didn't know though. I didn't know there was a thing, and I was like, "This some I'm danger situation here. There's something going on." And then my phone died as well, so it was like, but everything worked out for the best.
So Welshman lost to the gay Toronto beach,
and what happened on the island stayed on the island.
What's Welshland like? Welshia.
Oh, how much time do we have?
What's your home like?
And Wales.
I just found out what Welsh was recently.
I love that for you.
Henry, pull up Welsh.
In case our audiences know Wales.
The language of Wales or Welsh.
Look up maps. Go maps.
We have the best drag in the world.
This blows my mind every time I see it.
I don't know if I
apparently the United Kingdom is like a lot of stuff. There's like a bunch of things. Yeah. Some of it is island.
Well, it's a bit annoying because everyone knows Scotland, everyone knows Ireland, but then when it comes to this little nation called Wales, people are like, well, there's another one? Who knows?
Do you guys have Wales?
We don't have Wales.
Oh, that's pretty lame.
No. Actually, we do have Wales. We have like Baskin Shacks, which are kind of like Wales.
Yeah, it looks like a very beautiful country.
Yeah. It's so let me tell you about Wales a bit actually. Okay, so Wales is it has more sheep than people. Only 2 nations on the earth have that. It's us and New Zealand. We have the highest densities of castles in the world. So we have, and that's due to the Welsh people being annoying. So the English kept building castles to stop the Welsh people rising up. Have you seen the film The King?
No.
It's kind of the starting thing is the Welsh nations rising up, and that's kind of how it starts. But yeah, we were just a really annoying race of people. But also, what's annoying is I speak Welsh as well, which is a funny language. And
you're fluent in Welsh completely.
Yeah. But it's my second language because I learned it through school, but I can speak it pretty much fluently.
Can we hear some Welsh?
Yeah, drop some Welsh on us.
Okay. Fi'n gallu siarad Cymraeg yn bron perffaith. Mae'n ail iaith fi, ond fi'n eitha good at it, I guess. But beth fi eisiau dweud? Chwarae pêl-droed is like a nice one to say. Ni'n gael geiriau sy'n hollol wahanol i geiriau arall. Ni'n like... Okay. Let me tell you some words, okay? Okay, let me teach you some Welsh.
Yeah.
How about that?
Sure.
Okay. The easiest one to teach is, right, we can chant it together. Dwi'n hoffi coffee. Dwi'n hoffi coffee. Dwi'n hoffi coffee. Now, can you guess what that means?
Something horrible.
It's probably something horrible.
No, that would be good. I should have chanted something else. No. It just means I like coffee.
Oh. Hoffi coffee.
Dwi'n hoffi.
Hoffi coffee.
Dwi'n is I, coffee is like... Coffee is coffee?
Dwi'n, yeah. The Welsh language is a bit strange in some ways. Like, for example, we don't have a word for please. We have a word for please, but it's os gwelwch yn dda. So every time you say, like, oh, can I have that, please? You would say, can I have, fi'n gallu gael hwnna, os gwelwch yn dda? It's like a long thing to say at the end of it. Os gwelwch, 5-syllable, please. It's crazy. But it basically means if you see that it is good. Imagine saying that at the end of every sentence, like you, can I just have that, please? If you see that it is good, it's like such a crazy thing. But
do you have community in Welshland?
Do we have community? Yeah, we have a Welsh community.
Yeah.
Our main thing is we gravitate towards a sport called rugby. Rugby.
You were a rugby player.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
And you have some opinions about the oceanic races being the best rugby players.
Well, this is something we had a conversation in private about, but yes. But yeah, the oceanic races are probably the most adapted to tribal warfare.
Or like Polynesians?
Samoans, Tongans, Fijians are the best. Fijians are probably the most underrated race on Earth, I would say, which is a crazy thing to say. So
That might be the first time anyone's ever spoken that sentence.
Maybe. I tell you what, Fijians are wild. Yeah, that was a bad game for Fiji, but the thing...
Oh, wow.
So New Zealand are just... Okay, so New Zealand get all their best players from the islands. So the New Zealand's best players all come from... They're the best of Fiji, they're the best of Samoa. It's a whole thing. But the Samoan sevens rugby, so sevens is like a 7 versus 7, fast-paced, brutal... 20 minutes of death, basically, death matches. And the Fijians are the best at that, just naturally. And they're only a small population country and they're just freaks.
Really? I had no idea there's a oceanic supremacy over rugby.
Yeah.
Speculate about the genetic reasons why this is the case.
Well, I don't know. I suppose, I think the genetic reasons for Samoans being... all giant Dwayne The Rock Johnsons.
Warfare, constant tribal warfare.
Yeah. I suppose they're an isolated nation. But it's kind of funny because Japan was an isolated nation and they went completely the other way, right? They're not physical giants, really, you know?
Yeah, so
I guess they just have it there. I don't know. They were just
maybe just eating fish all
lots
day.
of fish, small island. They had to fight constantly, and they have the tribal markings, and the whole thing was fighting. And
so the Chinese people moved there, and then somehow became oceanic?
Kind of, yeah.
In like 1,000 years.
Yeah. Basically,
That's crazy.
not 1,000 years. Maybe more than that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy to think that. Okay. I don't know how far we can go. I think it's in the book *Sapiens*.
You were nervous about this podcast, I see, because you were making all these statements of things that you wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
I see gutnosis here. That was planned.
Yeah.
Gnosis, gutnosis.
No, it wasn't planned. It was like I was like.
Suicide bad, stigmatize.
Yeah, I did write it down.
Yoiko Mishima.
I did write it
Heaven
down.
is ugly now, full of old people. What does that mean?
That's what we said earlier. I said it earlier.
The Japanese artist that killed him.
Right.
Killed himself.
Heaven is okay.
Are you
Ultimate black
exposing
pill.
the fact that I came here with somewhat of a... No, I didn't come in with an narrative. I just didn't want to talk about my art. So I wanted to keep getting away from the painting.
Keep us away in the abstract land. Ultimate black pill. What's the ultimate black pill? The astrology pill?
Astrology is real, yeah.
Oh, astrology is real. Is that the ultimate black pill?
What's your star sign?
Yeah, I think astrology is real. I adopt any frame. So the more mystical and esoteric, the better. So
I'm an Aries.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, you're a typical Aries. I can see it. I can see a mile off.
Yeah, but like, what does that mean?
Aries stuff.
Do you know anything about astrology, or just assuming it's real? I know nothing about astrology, and I assume it's real. I have like no reason to believe that. What is the last red pill?
Astrology is real.
That's the last red pill?
Yeah.
Astrology sort of is a black pill in the literal sense of, if the black pill is that everything is
bold,
physiognomy.
energetic, full of vitality, charismatic, fun, lively, passionate, and driven by their hearts and desires. That tracks.
Yes, crazy, right? My one, I really relate to my one. What's your one?
Gemini.
I'm a Gemini as well.
Oh, interesting.
We're both Geminis. We're scatterbrained.
Yeah, scatterbrained.
We
airy.
find relationships hard.
Yeah, relationships hard. Yeah,
we find choices hard.
Choices
making
hard.
a decision hard.
Yeah, making decisions hard. Yeah, that all tracks. Intellectual, curious, communicative. I tried to get into astrology. I really tried. I looked up all the Gemini memes, and I didn't relate to any of them. And I'm like, fuck this.
You guys are sort of similar. Because you're both like normal presenting, and then you'll just both say like wacky shit.
So what do you think about this? Like, your schizophrenia came to you from birth, from the month you were born, based on the stars. Your schizophrenia and the way your scatterbrain works was from that.
I'll take it. I'm desperate for any explanation for my.
I told you it's the final red pill.
Mind.
Or black pill. Final black pill. What did I write?
The final red pill.
Right.
And you said the ultimate black pill or something.
Should we look at my notes more?
Yeah, let's look more. Let's look at your notes.
Oh yeah. So,
but we do have to wrap this up in 15 minutes.
Okay, in 15 minutes. Okay, so if we got 15 minutes, I want to talk to you about fleshlights.
Okay.
So fleshlights are great.
You shouldn't have said okay. I've heard this story before and I hate it, but continue. Yeah.
Fleshlights are the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And they will replace women in the future. And I am actually sponsored by a fleshlight company, the Japanese the fleshlight company called Tenga. Now, if you use discount code Rory Paints, you get 15% off all Tenga products.
Someone will use that.
No, you like that way too much. You went on an unprompted rant about how much you like your fleshlight and how you don't need women anymore.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did. You were in the studio going on a lucid rant about how the fleshlight is so good, and you just see the fleshlight and it arouses you.
What the fuck?
I literally never said that. I've never said that in my life.
No,
yeah, I will agree. Like, well, I'm trying to sell them, and that's not even a joke. 15% off discount.
I believe you.
Yeah. Discount code Rory Paints on Europe and US websites. But like, let me tell you this, right? He's kind of right. There's something weird about the Tenga now. I have a kind of slightly Pavlovian view when I see it. When I see it in the corner, I'm like, it's game time. I am now aroused by...
We're so cooked.
Why don't you like this?
We're so cooked as a species.
A fleshlight would never kiss me on the shoulder and tell me good job. But a fleshlight would never.
Not yet.
A fleshlight would never give me like.
But
would never give me coffee and baked goods.
A sufficiently advanced fleshlight would do that. Though.
Why are you so against fleshlights?
I'm not. I see it as a trend of you're right that it will replace women, and that we will have you can get an AI girlfriend that will kiss you on the shoulder and be pretty much indistinguishable from an actual girlfriend.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Axiomatically, no.
Axiomatically, no. You don't think technology is going to get there?
Well, not for me.
No, not for. I think for humanity though.
No, you want to hear a crazy fucking story?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So someone at the studio was telling me the story. There's like a VR porn of this couple fucking in real life with VR headsets on, and then in the VR, they were different characters. I'm like, this man is using his girlfriend as a fleshlight with VR goggles on to see her as like Sonic the Hedgehog or something.
Yeah.
I was like, that's literally fucking insane.
Yeah.
Let me write this down. That's something
baffling.
I'm definitely going to do when I get home.
Imagine that. Imagine like you're in a relationship, but they're just a living fleshlight to you, and so you can wear VR goggles and picture them as someone else.
It is actually quite disturbing. I agree. You don't like it, and you don't like that way of we're going forward, right? You don't like.
No, I'm a primitivist.
I agree with that. I know someone with it. I have a friend that's actually like. So when he's having sex, he will go limp, and he has to have his phone. Basically. He's connected to his phone.
God.
He has this like he has to basically have porn on her belly or something like that.
Yeah, I'm
gonna kill myself.
I've always been very consistent that I'm a human supremacist. I hate robots, and I just like what is human. And humans, we have human gods, we have human ways of being, human desires, human flaws. Those things are what make us human, and I like those things. And I don't like the fact that technology is ripping out a lot of what makes us human, and will eventually create something that's not human recognizably at all. And that's where we're headed. And
I thought you were transhumanist.
I will smash the robot with a brick as soon as we try to give it rights.
What about if I want...
I'm a robophobe.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
He's a huge robophobe.
You think this camera's made my life better?
I think it has actually.
Wrong. Project.
What would you have done if you weren't a YouTuber?
What would I have done? I don't know.
Why did it,
I can't imagine myself.
I think I know.
The wires are like just in my brain. Like I would not exist without it. But
you think your life would be better though?
I'd probably be complaining about something else.
All right. Okay.
You'd be complaining about how you didn't take off on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. New order notification for Horseshoe Theory. We're at 71 tickets. That's
71
a big
tickets.
Crowd.
Horseshoe Theory live Monday, July 22nd, 7 p.m. at the Horseshoe Tavern in Toronto.
This is going to go out after that, though, right?
And you can show up in person.
It will go out. This will go out after.
Never mind.
Yeah, scratch that.
Forget it.
We had a really cool show.
We had a great show.
You should have fucking been there.
You should have been there. You missed out.
Yeah, ignore that. But it is 15% off Tenga products.
Don't ignore him.
Yeah, no, we don't need this. We don't need another sponsor read.
If you want to throw your life away to a fleshlight,
yeah, you can get 15% off with Rory Paints.
Okay, how much time we got?
We should wrap it up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, okay, thank you. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I don't like that you read my notes. That's annoying.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Well, I don't like that.
I didn't like that.
I don't like that you drew 3 of the studio members having sex with each other.
You did like that.
Yeah.
I know you did. Well, that's okay.
Gokinaru's his face in that picture was totally like blank.
Deadpan.
Just like he was like taking it and receiving it at the same time.
Oh my god.
And just like a deadpan facial expression.
It's invasions of privacy. No nukes. Art's cool.
Mm-hmm. I think we covered a lot of ground.
We covered the most ground we've ever covered.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
I can keep going. I could go on forever.
Yeah, but Brogan's got to go to work.
Okay, sorry.
You ever see that Wikipedia, that guy? There's a guy who mapped every Wikipedia article and put it onto like a Venn diagram to see which ones relate to one another. And the farthest degrees of separations by links between two Wikipedia articles is like 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think we did that jump. I think we went from that Japanese artist to nukes not existing. That's the farthest you could ever create a gap between two concepts.
And we got a projector going so we can see stuff now.
I'm gonna buy a TV and put it on this wall.
Okay, that works too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a much better.
Oh god, I'm worried how I came across on this interview.
Don't be worried. You came across great, Rory Paints.
But I think I've revealed too much of my clear psychosis.
It's okay.
I'm not actually. All of what I just did was actually it's in a performance. It's a complete performance.
You're an artist.
I'm an artist. I don't believe in.
Very good.
He's an
I don't
artist.
believe in anything of what I just said.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
None of us, all consequence free.
Mate, you've been speaking about the dancing Israelis way too much.
I mentioned it once. But yeah, seriously, Google dancing Israelis.
Yep. We don't believe in anything.
Well, you've now.
We don't believe in anything. We have no values or beliefs
except for liberal democracy.
Except liberal democracy.
Circa 2011.
11, and violence is bad.
Violence is bad. 2011 liberal democracy. Make America 2011 liberal democracy.
No, don't go. Don't Google dancing Israelis. No, Henry, don't.
There we go. We have to cut that out.
I actually don't know what that is, but don't explain it.
All right.
I've only ever heard the phrase Google dancing Israelis said to me. I've never figured it out.
And we're not getting monetized. Okay, cool.
Well, I think violence is good, so that's another thing.
All right.
I'm gonna say no nukes, dancing Israelis. That's the real horseshoe theory.
That's the real horseshoe theory. And considering you think violence is good, I think you should have it dished out to you now. So
come at me.
Yeah.
Okay.